Guys, welcome all to Nerd Strategy. Now, I'm doing a train of thought episode. That basically means that I'm not going to be editing much of this. I mean, I literally have my green screen behind me, backdrop behind me. I'm just rambling. Don't really care about what goes on in this, just talking. It's kind of the point of these videos to get my thoughts out there. Are we heading into another video game crash like that of '83? Maybe. What the video game crash of '83 was? Bunch of companies released a bunch of crappy games onto the systems between, like the late '70s to early '80s, and people got sick of the market being flooded with it, and they over mass produce a crap ton of games, and it caused the video game crash of '83. As putting it lightly. You guys can do your own research on there. I'm not a huge expert onto it. There's been a bunch of other people that have totally invested their time into doing tons of research about this. Just know that they released a lot of lackluster content and then exuberant amounts of other games and stuff like that. They just flooded the market with them. And then the rumor is that they took a bunch of ET cards and a bunch of other cards and stuff like that, buried it in a landfill, and nobody heard about it. Till a couple of years ago, they actually dug that crap up, and while everyone was expecting 10 million ET cards, no, it was just a bunch of games, and it was madness. You saw crazy things where they were selling like copies of like ET or like Adventure or something like that, like with a little bit of dirt that said it was found at the landfill on eBay for like $700. The whole situation is just stupid. They released a lot of lackluster games and kind of crashed the market. It was so bad that we almost never got the NES coming here. The NES came here. They bundled it with Rob the Robot. Luckily, they did it roughly around, I think, 1985 they did that. They remodeled it to make it look like a toaster. And they bundled it with Rob the Robot to make it look like it was a toy. Get this toy for your kids. It's not a video game system, it's an entertainment system. That's why it was called the Nintendo Entertainment System. Blah, blah, blah. You guys, if you guys have collected video games for years, you kind of get the gist of that, what that means, right? It's not that we were stupid. Like, we knew it was a video game system. We got fooled by their other tomfoolery because we got sucked into, like, warranties and stuff like that. I think that's what people get sucked into. People wanted their warranties all throughout, like, up to, like, 2000s when that actually meant something. Where you could actually get something of a quality product, and the warranty actually meant that you got to work with that stuff and you got to keep it fixed and up and running. Said now, warranties only last 90 days, and after 90 days, a crap breaks, and then you have to throw it away or try to fix it yourself. And if you can't fix it yourself, you get angry and throw it against the wall until it breaks into a billion pieces, and then you sweep it up and throw it away anyway. Are we heading into another video game crash? I think for some AAA companies, we're not going to see them around for too much longer. Crap companies, like, they're piling on microtransactions onto the games and just shoving them into our face. They're not going to be around much longer. People are going to get sick of it and stop buying the crap. Another point, all this worthless, stupid mid-console generation upgrade crap. And I think one of the major stepping stones for this is the PS5 Pro. Who the hell is going to spend $700 on a system that is digital only, that you have to spend another $80 to get a physical disc drive for? Like, the old school PS5 that we got originally, it's not even fully tapped into yet. Like, do people realize it has a little 8K sticker on the corner, which means it's possible for it to play 8K quality games. Cool. The PS5 Pro's bragging that it can do that. They haven't even tapped into the possibilities of the PS5. They haven't even gotten that done right. They haven't even released enough games that are exclusive to the system itself. Oh, it's enhanced. You get an enhanced version of a game that came out 2 generations ago. Yeah, you could play Last of Us Remastered. That was a remastered game for the previous generation. That's remastered again in freaking 8K, which you can't really tell because it already looked good enough on the PS3 and they didn't need to freaking update it. And it's just, I get porting the game over, but jeez. It's just getting stupid. I'm not even going to delve into that. I mean, I just think that whole situation where they're doing these minuscule, tiny little upgrades for their crap is stupid. I thought that was the point of having freaking in-game patches onto the game, like, to make it. I thought they were doing that through that, not just freaking making you spend a whole whopping $700 just to make the game look better. And plus, if the game looked like crap to them to begin with, well, they shouldn't have released it. They should have let it cook longer and make it better looking. What the? Sorry, I can rant about this stuff. That'll be another train of thought video. Why the hell are they making so many damn remasters? They released the PS5. It's able to play Blu-ray. It's able to play 4K. It has an 8K thing on the thing, which means you're going to eventually... Their plan was to patch it to play 8K on the OG PS5. You know, the ones that are scalped for the stupid price that this system's going for, which is probably the reason why they actually decided to price it this high. But it's able to do that, and then most games we're getting these days are just in 1080p anyway. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I'm going on a tangent. It's stupid. Point is, like, they just don't need this upgrade. They need to spend the money they invested into making a system that they're gonna sell for $700, and they should have made in-house games instead. That's all I'm saying. They need to stop with these stupid incremental upgrades and focus on the software that's going to make them money back from them selling this crap that they don't make profits off of. Because most video game companies don't make their money off of selling their consoles. They make money on the software. I think, I don't know, I'm just ranting. I think the whole PS5 Pro situation is just retarded. But in short, yeah, those are my major problems with what was going on with the major companies that are doing this stuff. Now, we're seeing a lot of cool indie stuff come out. I could list off a bunch of games. I'll just name off a few off the top of my head real quick. Shovel Knight, Cuphead, Iron Blood, that just came out. I'm really interested in that. Sandy Hunter, Curse of the Mayan, FX Unit Yuki, Freedom Planet. They rebooted the Shantae series and made a complete, well, the Shantae game, and they made a complete series off of that. Like, Way Forward was pretty small, and now they're chugging along really strong. You know, like, Way Forward is just amazing like that. And let's see, I'm looking over my wall just to see real quick what I have. That's indie. I have a bunch of stuff. Kena for the PS4. That was an indie title. Bet you didn't know that. Sony actually gave them their blessing to make that game. That game is tons of fun. There's a bunch of people also making games for older systems. People are making NES games. You may have heard of NES Maker. That's a game engine that they're utilizing to make NES games for the system. The guy is making that's working on making an integral type interface to work with a bunch of different engine type stuff to make a bunch of different games for a different system. It's stupid complicated what he's doing. And I think he might be overworking himself, but you know what? He just needs to do him. He seems to be happier than what he was in his documentary making it, so I'm happy for him. Back to point though, yeah, people are making physical cartridges for games. People are making Dreamcast games. A guy I know, you can see him on his YouTube channel and his Twitch channel. Sarimaro. He's making games for the TurboGrafx, which is crazy because they just made the Analog Dual, which is like a TurboGrafx system that actually is able to play games and stuff like that. He made one called FX Unit Yuki. He's making another one called Ninja, like a physical game for it. His game FX Unit Yuki was actually able to be ported onto the Switch, so people were able to get access to it that way. Another thing, people that are making indie titles, they're able to get them re-released through different companies. I know these companies are frowned upon, but I'm just putting them out there to put them into your heads. Yes, these are some people that make physical games. You have to wait 2 years for them, but they're there. Limited Run, First Press Games. You have to wait 20 years for their games if you ever buy it physically, because you'll probably never get them. I think those guys are the ones that are making the Crimson Echoes and the Cine Hunter physical. I still haven't even got my Crimson Echoes game. It's a Chrono Trigger clone. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I think Sea of Stars was an indie game, but I don't know for certain. That was actually kind of a cool game. I got that physically recent or within the last year. I pre-ordered that like a long time ago. Yeah, they're also making games for the Dreamcast. People are making and are making Game Boy games. They're making Super Nintendo games, like actual physical homebrew games that you're able to pick up and play for those systems now, because the tools are out there for it, like Game Boy Studio and And then there's some engines that allow you to make Dreamcast games or whatnot, like fully 3D too. If they actually put their time into it, they can make them 3D. It's just not just like the 2D games that people saw like on the Dreamcast homebrew thing for that. Like there's some 3D stuff I think they're able to make. But yeah, like there's a good chunk of indie games out there. I think there's one called Forgive Me Father or I'm Your Father or something like that. It was a Cthulhu first-person shooter game. Super hard, really fun. I'm going to play that after I get done with this video. Maybe not, it's late. Point is, these titles were more notable than what we're getting from bigger franchises. Like small indie titles that I'm naming off the top of my head that I've had more fun with than I would have with an Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty or some random NBA or Madden game, like because to be honest with you, it feels like they're just stupid patches that they're doing to the games, and they're patching them all throughout the years anyway, and then yeah. I'm having more fun with these because they're complete. I'm able to play them like right away. I'm not having to worry about huge things. And I think that these indie companies are making games like this are going to end up rising more and getting more popular because their games are there. They're complete. They're not broken like half the AAA games we get these days. To wrap this up, I think it'll be a shift. That's all I'm saying. It'll just be a shift. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys later.